Okay, everybody, thanks for joining us tonight. My name is Dave Cottam, and I've got the pleasure of introducing tonight's InnerOrigin talk to you. You've been invited on this call by someone who sees you as someone who's potentially interested in health and wellness, interested in sharing health and wellness, and that the movement that we have of spreading conscious shopping to the world, and potentially also maybe someone that's looking at wanting to make an extra income based on sharing this vision with the world and really supporting something of the movement of which InnerOrigin is, as it launches throughout Australia, into New Zealand, and then across America and the rest of the world. So first and foremost, my name's Dave Cottam. I'm a founding advocate of InnerOrigin, and I've been fortunate enough over the last 12 months to be part of the journey and seeing InnerOrigin grow right throughout Australia, and as we now start to move into New Zealand. I've got a health and wellness company. We provide holistic health education in the local area of Perth, and we run all free seminars where we find people via the internet and also by a lot of seminars and workshops and people within the health industry. And it's been our passion throughout the last couple of years to provide a simple, healthy approach to providing lifestyle education to the people of Perth. So when InnerOrigin was put to me in the start of, or the middle of September last year, I was immediately told my friend, our first was introduced by an amazing person called Melissa Molinari, and then also by Phil Webster, who's hosting some of these webinars, but I was really busy at the time. I had a lot going on and said that I would join, but at the moment I'm just really busy and couldn't focus. And it was about another 4 weeks before I actually ended up joining and really looking properly at what InnerOrigin had to offer. And around 6 weeks after that, I was kicking myself that I hadn't joined earlier. And the reason I say that, and as I introduce tonight to you, the power, the beauty, and the special magic that can be created by first movers advantage in a launch is something that doesn't really come about very often. And as you go through this presentation tonight, I really ask for you to keep an open mind as to all the information that I'm saying. And even if you've been told about this video by someone who who wouldn't normally be someone who you consider to be business minded, or not necessarily someone that you'd relate them to being the usual health guru, I would keep an open mind to it, because what we have here is something that I truly believe is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for a lot of us to be involved in a company like InnerOrigin that will move around the world, that will have a global impact through educating people to shop healthily and consciously, but also by making sure that everybody involved in the purchasing, the supply, the consumption, and the provision of products across the world is that it's not just a one-person win situation like with the supermarkets, that it truly is a win-win situation for everybody. And as we go through this presentation, I think you'll see what I saw and really look at this as one of the most amazing things that will happen to any of us. So the reason that I got involved with InnerOrigin, as I said, we've spent the last couple of years educating around Perth as to the simple things that make people sick. The acidity in our body, the toxins in our diet, the lack of conscious shopping, the poor products that are given to us by the supermarkets. And I know in a lot of our seminars, when I talk to people about the toxins in deodorants, or the toxins in your shower gels, or in toothpaste, and I talk a lot about tampons and the toxins there. And you look and go, all of these chemicals that are in our diet, the people who come to my seminars quite often will, they will look at me and they'll hear the information about how this stuff literally is known to be killing us, and they say, oh God, that's awful. I'll change my shower gel, I'll change my deodorant. But when I see these people months down the line and I speak to them, they haven't. And the common reason that they haven't is because it's too inconvenient to go and buy natural products that aren't killing us from health food shops, as well as also going and doing their supermarket shop. And to me, when InnerOrigin came around, the possibility to have an online supermarket with the explosion of online shopping, especially with the inclusion of Amazon into Australia now, the online shopping, the convenience, but as we'll discuss, a company that allows no GMO, no pesticides, no BPAs, that has to have ethical, sustainable production, where all companies will have to have a transparent chain of supply, the smallest ingredient to the largest ingredient, the smallest companies to the biggest of companies have to prove where everything comes from. And to me, they're about a company that provides that level of care to us for the products that we buy, but more importantly, the people who don't take time to look at what's in their products, who don't necessarily know to look at products and know what things shouldn't be in there and what things are harming us. To me, a company with that level of compassion and love for their customers, that's the kind of company that I want to be a part of, and that's the kind of company that I want to tell people about. And the very fact that we can get paid for being a part of this as a movement, I'd be speaking about this anyway. and I look and I go, if it makes sense, then it's a great way to make money. And if it's a company that I'd shop from, then why would the people that I work with, that I love, that I educate, and who are my friends and family, why would they not shop there as well? And why would we not spread that vision? So that for me is why I joined InnerOrigin. I saw something that was easy, that was simple, and that was going to really truly help the world. So I've already gone over a little bit what InnerOrigin is, but basically we're a healthy produce platform. We're an online grocery store. I often say we're a bit like Amazon, but with a heart. What we're giving is we're providing ethical, sustainable products. We're checking that everything that comes to you is good for you, that it isn't going to kill you. We're a marketplace, an ecosystem, building community. Community is dead out there in the world these days. Over here in Australia especially, they don't even build housing estates with a community centre. They don't have a local shops. They don't have a place where people can come together and discuss things, where people can learn and live around the people that they're their neighbours. What we get a Bunnings, we get a hardware store, we get a Coles, which is the supermarket. And if you're lucky, you may get like a drive-through coffee shop. Obviously there's a pub, there's a gambling station, but community is dead. What we're trying to do is bring that back using the digital world that we're now connected through with social media and email and mobile phones, to bring that together to educate people in order to shop better. For a company like InnerOrigin, what we are is we have three enormous game changers, or should I say there's three trends in the world that we're currently in front of. And a great thing for business is said to find trends that are happening in the world and get in front of them, be a part of the trends as they happen. Don't be the people that wait until the end. So what's going on differently at the moment? First of all, we have healthy food. People are asking for no GMO. They want organic, sustainable products. They want products that are sourced locally. Unfortunately, what happens with the supermarkets too often, we're provided products that we've got no idea where they come from. Especially in Australia, we get products that are shipped here, that come from all over the world, and the labelling is difficult for us to understand. And I'm sure it's a similar case in New Zealand. So what we're doing is we're ahead of that trend. We're ahead of the trend of people buying this stuff. We're looking that people want access to small companies that have great products. All too often, people have got a small choice, and they can't buy everything they want from the health food shop. And this is stopping people from actually being able to make the full transition from the supermarket to healthy. And what we're doing is bridging that gap. That's the first game changer we're getting ahead of. And second is in direct sales. Now, if for anyone who's actually been involved in a direct sales or a network marketing company before, or who's into affiliate marketing using the internet, I think what you'll be aware of, that there's various things that make some of those business models quite difficult. Especially there's a lot of changes going on in the direct sales industry to ensure that a lot of the companies who are operating in the network marketing space have got a lot of true customers. And we're ahead of that curve. The reason why we're ahead of that curve, because we're totally customer centric, we're totally customer focused. We've got a great model for leverage, so that your customers will be able to easily refer to their customers. Everybody's used apps like Uber, Airbnb, Facebook, Instagram, Amazon. We've all used these, and what we do is we pass them to our friends. And what we're going to have with InnerOrigin with regards to direct sales and affiliate sales is having it so that our customers will be able to easily recommend us to each other. I'll go into that a little bit more down the line, but again, we all know that social sharing via the internet, via Facebook, is the model of the future, is the model of now. You know, we're getting ahead of that curve with regards to the grocery industry. And again, for suppliers, you know, a lot of the great small suppliers, great small manufacturers with fantastic products. We've already got a lot of great New Zealand-based products already operating in InnerOrigin. And a lot of these guys, they wouldn't get access to the mass market by being able to do business development singularly to the various health food shops throughout New Zealand, throughout Australia, and getting into America is an enormously costly expense. You know, and what we're doing within InnerOrigin is giving these guys access to a wide marketplace so they can just focus on the thing that they started with in the first place, which is being passionate about a product that they make and getting that out to a wider audience, but without having all of the red tape and the bullying that's done by the big supermarkets who control the products that we get, charging these guys through the year to get into their stores. And then the minute they have a successful brand, you know, a lot of the supermarkets then force them to make an own brand for them, which they then sell at a cheaper price. You know, and small suppliers are sick of this, big suppliers are sick of this, and we're offering them an option. So what we've actually got, we've got a three-dimensional ecosystem. You know, what we're building back is that community of buying from each other, but in a digital context. So as we say there, you know, we're giving everybody a fair go. You know, consumers will get truth. Us as advocates, if you join the company and you decide to promote the business and talk about the philosophy of InnerOrigin, and you look to go out and make a living or, you know, a side income by this, you can have a company that's built on ethics. That will mean customers will stay, that suppliers will want to continue to use us, will want to continue to do business through us. Take away some of the factor that can be sometimes had within companies. You know, a lot of people find it difficult to get their products out to the marketplace, and we'll be supporting them. And all we're literally doing is spreading that as a vision. You know, for the customers, they're getting great choice. They're getting truth. They're getting products that they can rely on without having to actually be fully educated and understand. I think we all know that we see people spending more and more time in the supermarkets and the grocery aisles looking at products. They're looking at the back of labels, but all too often and I was that way myself, that you don't understand what's in the product. You don't understand that the labeling of products can say bold as anything on the front, organic. And what that can mean is they've only got one organic product in there. You know, and customers want that. The customers want that trust. You know, and we're going to be giving it to them. And why? Because we are a discretionary marketplace. You know, there's online supermarkets or online stores. You've got Amazon, you've got eBay, you've got Alibaba, even Facebook's got a marketplace now. Those guys, you can sell anything, but we're discretionary. What that means is that if the companies who are putting products out on the internet or in the stores, if they don't meet our strict requirements, you know, if they aren't GMO-free, BPA-free packaging, no fragrances, no pesticides, you know, that ethical, sustainable source of ingredients, they literally will not get on the platform. They go through a stringent set of requirements first before they're even allowed to be looked at properly by what we've got, which is called a product advisory board. Now, in the product advisory board, what that means is that there's 7 professionals on there who look at each of the products. There's a doctor, there's a naturopath, there's an integrative doctor, which is like a doctor and a naturopath. We've got a nutritionist, we've got a regulatory specialist, we've got a vet, we've got a kinesiologist. You know, some of those guys a few years ago were like considered witches in the medical industry. And now we've got these guys representing us, ensuring that all the products that we get are fantastic. So even once a product has gone through a strict set of requirements, it'll then come to InnerOrigin into the product advisory board. And those guys check every single product before it gets to us. So from a customer perspective, some people say, well, why would I shop at InnerOrigin? You know, because you've got a panel of people that are making sure everything comes to you. InnerOrigin do not own any products. So there'll be no conflict of interest that we're going to be pushing a brand that is our brand. Everything that comes onto the platform, we won't own any of these products. Like Airbnb, the biggest hotel chain in the world, has no rooms. Uber, the biggest taxi company in the world, you know, they have no cars. And what we are is a company that we're not going to own any product. But what we are is we're going to be a company providing truth and transparency to the customer. We've already done it here in Australia. We've proved the model here in Australia, and now we're going to be bringing it to New Zealand and really bringing all of what we've learned here and improving the model in New Zealand. And this is just stage 2 of our movement around the world. And this is why this actual call here and the opportunity to be a founding advocate is so special. This is something that over here in Australia, when we launched Australia, we had nothing. We didn't have a website. We didn't have any products yet. We didn't know what those products would be. No one had been paid. No products had been sent out. We didn't have any videos. We didn't know who the ambassadors were. And yet within Australia, we managed to get together thousands of people, and the company actually took $2 million in its first month of trading. That's enormous from a standing start when we had nothing. And the benefit of the comfort of what we're doing into New Zealand, the benefit of the fact that we've got all of this experience, that people have been paid, that products have been sent. We've got nearly a year's trading now. You can go on, and I do encourage you, if you haven't actually been on the InnerOrigin website as yet, please do go onto the website. Please do go on. Please look at the products that are on there. Please look at the website as a whole. It's an amazing experience to go and check all of that out. We had no ability to do that first. So as someone in New Zealand with the opportunity to be a founding advocate, the people in Australia, there's people that missed out on this. And the title of a founding advocate is something that's really special, and some of the benefits that come with it are fantastic. So do please, really look at the platform and see what we weren't able to see before as you're sort of making your decision about what you want to do and whether you think InnerOrigin is something for you. So I've got a little bit more about some of the other things that we've got. InnerOrigin, we pick, pack, and ship basically all of the products that customer will purchase. It's a really simple process. The suppliers send their products into the centralized warehouse. When a customer makes a purchase, they're all picked, packed, and shipped, put in one box and sent out to the customer. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee on everything that comes in. And basically, after that 30-day period, the supplier gets paid, and you as an advocate would get paid for people shopping. It's a really, really simple process. The owners of InnerOrigin are highly credible in the business world. David Nomchong, who's one of the owners, he's launched 4 big direct sales companies into Australia. I won't go over the details of those at the moment, but he also has an enormous health journey. The heart and soul of this company is absolutely ingrained into him because of the health story that he has. Sally Ann Ferguson also, she was one of the team who were an 8-person team that came and opened up Aldi food stores into Australia. She also has a big health journey. She's an integrative nutritionist, and her family has an enormous health story again, which absolutely puts the making food your medicine and empowering people with truth. Absolutely ingrains that into her and her family, and that's why this business is absolutely set to succeed. People that have opened massive companies to Australia and then chosen to make their own company one that helps people be healthy. It can't help but for this company to grow and grow. And as I said, the global plan to go out from Australia and New Zealand and into America, the opportunity for those of us that are involved at the moment is absolutely enormous. Now, to give a little bit of detail around what we're doing here. In Australia, we've currently taken over $6 million in about 9 months of trading. Or should I say, we took $6 million in our first 9 months trading. Now, a company called Isogenics, which was a company that David Nomchong was part of the executive team, and he launched that to Australia. They took $7.8 million in their first year, and they were a $500 million company at the time. Now InnerOrigin, from a standing start with no history, no reputation, no one really being excited about the launch before we launched, no products, no marketing material. We launched and then have taken $6 million in the first 9 months, and I'm not sure exactly where we're at the moment, but I'll be pretty confident that we'll pass that $7.8 million in our first year. And we've done that from a standing start without the powerhouse of a corporate backing and reputation that Isogenics did. Now, the importance of that is that that has meant that the people in Australia have already created some fantastic businesses, and some of the people who do some of these other calls that you'll see over the next week or so, have created fantastic businesses in the year that we've been trading. But the importance of that is Australia and New Zealand will be the smallest markets that we go into. 26 million people in Australia, plus there are about 5-ish in New Zealand. Going into America, which is 330 million people. They're a country that are 10 times bigger than Australia and New Zealand combined. And the amazing thing with that is, and this is the great thing about first mover advantage, the people in New Zealand who, if you're the kind of person that has a global vision, that has a big vision for your future and really looks and wants to be able to take part in and take advantage of a company that's just opening, the launch from New Zealand and Australia and into America will set some people up forever with the residual income that being part of a company like this can give to you. And the other amazing thing about being a New Zealand advocate, you're still also going to be able to create a business into Australia. So being a New Zealand advocate will not mean that you've simply got a New Zealand business. You can promote, you can introduce the products, you can introduce the company to people in Australia also. And then as we move to America, you'll be able to also show the people over there. Now, coming into this, what I want to do is just explain a little bit how it is that we get paid. This is often the question that people ask. And for the purposes of this call, I'll keep it relatively simple. So there's 3 ways that we get paid. So the first way is the most important way, is with shopping. Now, every time that somebody shops on the platform, there will be an amount of the money that is taken, and that's classed as commission. Okay, now for every product that's bought, some things will have a smaller commission, some things will have a bigger commission. In the first instance in New Zealand, you may have a smaller product range whilst we build up all of the logistics. But for every product that somebody buys, and if they buy nuts or seeds or something like that, that'll be smaller commissions than if they buy beauty or if they buy supplementation or those kind of products. But for every single product that buy, you'll get a small commission of that. What that will mean is that in Australia currently, people are spending between $400 and $500 a month on average on the platform. So as you get your customer base to grow, what this will mean is that your income will grow. And the thing that we're finding is that because it's just groceries, people are shopping every single month. And as long as InnerOrigin provide the amazing service that we're going to and keep the philosophy that we have, there's no reason that people would ever stop buying on the platform. So that's the first way that we get paid, is with people shopping. Now, to extend on to that, the amazing thing is when you introduce someone, you might introduce one of your friends or your family or someone that who's into health foods. When they're a shopper and they've shopped a couple of times and the company deems that they're a happy shopper, the company will send them a notification and let them know that if they share the platform with someone else, if they share the app or point somebody to the website, that they'll give them a little voucher for them passing the website on, much like Uber did, that they gave people free ride vouchers. Airbnb do the same. We're going to do the same. And what that means is when those new customers come in who are friends of your customers, they also become your customer. And that will go on forever. As many customers, whoever join, doesn't matter if you've told them or if your customers tell them or if those other customers tell them, they will all be your customer for all of time. And in Australia, the numbers that we've used is about $400 of shopping would equate to about $26 of commissions. The full compensation plan, as I say, for New Zealand will come out later, or we can give you later if you ask the person who's asked you. But as an example there, our target there, if someone is able to have 400 customers, they're looking at about a $10,000 a month residual income. Now, if you've introduced 10 people to InnerOrigin, and when they're happy customers, they share it with a couple of people, you're up to 30. Those 30 share it with a couple of people each, you're up to 90. Those 90 share it with a couple of people each, you're up to basically 300. And you can see how you could get to that 400 person amount relatively easily. Now, the great thing with this isn't a race. This isn't get rich quick. But what it is over the course of the next 2, 5, 10 years, You know, can we tell multiple hundreds or multiple thousands of people about InnerOrigin? You know, and I truly believe, for my sense, I will. And for anybody who joins that lives and breathes this philosophy, you know, I'm very sure that you could do too, especially to consider that your customers may then tell some people when we open America. Then your combined customers may tell some people when we open Canada, then the UK, then China, then Asia, then all around Europe. You know, you can see how being part of this at the start in Australia and New Zealand is such a promising perspective because we do have that first mover advantage. So that's the first way that we get paid. Second way that we get paid is when you introduce other people who may also want to get customers. You know, when they join the business and they might come in, they might buy some products. There's various packs that you can buy when you actually join the business. When they buy a product pack, again, those products have commission on, and based on that pack, whatever they buy, you get paid on that. And the commissions when people buy a pack are quite good. Again, I won't go into the details of all of those on this call, but again, that's just to show that when some people are buying packs that range from a couple of $100 to, you know, a few $1,000s, you know, you can be in a few $100s worth of commission based on them buying that pack. So it's, again, a nice way to make a little bit of extra. And the third way, again, if you then introduce people who also start to grow a business, who also start to get some customers, the company will also pay you a bit of a bonus based on what they sell that month. So as their customers shop and they get paid commission, you'll also get a bonus from the company for having introduced them in the first place and help them to also grow a business. And again, another residual income by helping other people to see this as an opportunity and grow yourself a team based on people who also want to share this vision. So there are three ways that we get paid. Now, effectively, to get involved with the business, there is a cost. You know, there's always a cost to get into business, and for this opportunity to be involved as a founding advocate, the minimum cost is $495. That's to get your account. That's a one-off payment, and then there'll be a monthly renewal of that, and then there will be up to a maximum of $3,000. Again, we can go into all the details of this if you're interested and you want to hear more detail. Ask the person who sent you, and we can go into the full details of the different costings. But the minimum will be $495, and the maximum, unfortunately, the maximum we could invest as well was $3,000. But the key thing to being a founding advocate is that it's just a $10 pre-enrollment commitment. Now, just to kind of share my experience on that, and this is the power of a first mover advantage. You know, the team that I have is about 500 people. In the pre-launch, we brought in about 300-ish people based on that $10 commitment. You know, and it's amazing the fact that you can actually come in with $10 commitment, picking what your future commitment will be, that you can then build a business on that during the pre-launch, which will last for a couple of months, and you can build that business just based on a $10 pre-enrollment and the later commitment that you go for. Now, to stress how amazing this is that, you know, I personally made about $20,000 in that launch. You know, and I invested $3,000 and got about $20,000 in commissions based on the launch by building the team. And you know, I wasn't alone in getting some numbers that were similar to that, you know, 10,000 plus. So that's just to show, just in this launch period, it's so important and so special that if you've seen this early, take advantage of it. If you need to know more information, please ask. Please understand exactly what it is that we're doing here, because this is a very special time to be able to take full advantage, speak to the people who are most likely to be involved in this business, because they will get spoken to by a lot of people. News will travel fast. And I urge, having known what happened in Australia, there were people who waited and then their friends had already joined. There were people who were asked and they didn't join, and then they saw the amazing business that people have created, and they joined later on a deal that wasn't so good. So please, please do ask us the questions. Please do go back to the person who invited you to this webinar and ask to have a call with somebody who can answer your questions and go into the further details if you need them. This will be an amazing launch. The owners of the company will be in New Zealand during during January. So you can get out, you can see them, and be able to actually be fully part of the pre-launch. So that's it for me today, guys. Thank you for being on the call. Thank you for listening. Please go back to the person that invited you to this call to ask for more information, and I will speak to you soon. Bye for now.